weigh in 2 pounds above the legal limit of 160 pounds for this division. Fernando has a 1-inch arm length advantage measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. He gives up an inch in height to Joval, who is tall for a middleweight. Probably the key stat in the fight is Vargas is still only 27 years old, and Joval is 36 and not terribly hard to find. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Fernando Vargas Raymond Joval fight is scheduled for 10 rounds, non-title, using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell at any round, including the 10th and final round. Jim.
All right. Well, despite the blonde halo, Joval is no babe in the woods. Born and raised in the Netherlands, Larry, he has fought, in effect, all over the world. He is known mostly here in America because he's a product of the Los Angeles gym culture and has a lot of good buddies there in LA, including James Toney, but they know him. They chose him for a reason.
That's true, but sometimes these road warriors can exploit a situation like this. We've seen that many times in the past. That halo, incidentally, he says, is from the origin of an African king who grew his hair that way, and he says when he becomes a king in boxing, it'll be all blonde.
Meanwhile, at the other end of the arena, this crowd is about to go absolutely berserk for Fernando Vargas. Vargas told us when he was fighting in the Olympic Auditorium against Fitz Vanderpool a couple of years ago, he met some fans outside the arena who told him they had come all the way from Corpus Christi to see him fight. And at that point he said, I'm going to go to Corpus Christi.
During that 15-month hiatus, he had a pretty good role in a movie starring Bruce Willis and Sharon Stone. Not as taxing on a bulging disc.
And we'll see if, as a fighter, he's more of an actor now, or whether he's still the real thing. Certainly, if the love of his fans can elevate him, that particular factor is in order here.
Remember when he came into the ring with a caged white tiger? Or when he posed as an Aztec warrior busting through a wall? This is Fernando Vargas raw.
A lot of contact getting into the ring as he feels the love of his fans here in Corpus Christi.
And once again, the question is, can he show control in the ring when the fans have gone this nuts?
You would think that he's never lost a fight.
You know, this is why it's so difficult for fighters to retire. It's not so much all the time about money. This year is a high that you can only get in boxing.
Absolutely right. There's no rush in the world, exactly like what he's feeling right now.
See, in other sports, you come in as a team. You are the individual star all by yourself.
Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer now for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the American Bank Center here in Corpus Christi, Texas, where tonight, main events in association with DeBella Entertainment and Miller Lite is proud to present HBO Boxing After Dark, 10 rounds of boxing in the middleweight division. Sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, Executive Director William Kuntz, Deputy Director Brian Francis. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout, Jesse Benavidez, Ray Hawkins, and Jesse Reyes. And inside the ring, the man in charge of the action, referee Lawrence Cole. And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing orange with white stripes, official weight 162 pounds. This former Olympian now has an excellent professional record consisting of 33 victories, including 15 knockouts with 3 defeats and a world title. From Amsterdam, Netherlands, the former IBO middleweight world champion, Raymond Hallelujah Jovan. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue, official weight 162 pounds. Professional record 24 victories, including 22 knockouts with 2 defeats. From La Colonia Boxing Gym of Oxnard, California, the Aztec warrior known as El Feroz, former 2-time junior middleweight champion of the world, Ferocious Fernando Vargas.
Fernando! Sit her up, Fernando! Come on, Ray! All right, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want you to obey my commands, protect yourselves all times. Talk to you about your trunks. They're riding a little bit high. I'm not going to call them right on the line. Understood? You got it on that? All right. Good. Touch gloves? Touch gloves? Good luck to both of y'all.
There are questions to be asked. Will there be answers to be questioned?
Presents a very big picture in there as round 1 begins. He's taller than Fernando Vargas, as you can see.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem to utilize his height that much. As he starts as a puncher, he bends in. So I don't think that the height is going to be that big of a factor.
Vargas in the past has been known both to back up and counterpunch and to lead. He can do either. Probably his best single weapon, an excellent left hook to the body. On the other hand, when he gets fighters against the ropes, his tendency to square up and go shoulder to shoulder with them allows opportunities for the opponent.
That's correct.
Good stiff jab by Vargas. Jabbing to the body there. Joval with his own jab to the body. Fight begins at a relatively slow pace. There's the left hook to the body. That is Vargas' best weapon.
That exchange, you could really see the difference in the hand speed and the natural coordination that Vargas has over Joval. He's so much more better coordinated.
One punch at a time so far for both guys. Nobody's really landed a credible combination.
But Joval is putting a lot of pressure on Vargas.
In what way?
Foot pressure. I'm surprised that he's that fast with his feet, and that's the big difference. He's a lot of pressure on him.
Joval going to the body and trying to come back upstairs with the right hand.
Vargas is visibly trying to control what he does. Box, box, take opportunities when they present themselves.
And he landed 2 solid jabs, moving to his left. Now goes back to the right. Well, when Vargas talks about being more elusive and smarter in the ring, he's really trying to reinstitute a style he thinks he had before he got too punch happy when he fought guys like Trinidad and De La Hoya. Do you agree that he once had that style?
Well, I didn't see. Yeah, he had certain fights. I thought his best was with Ike Quartey, but I mean, he had no choice because Quartey is one of those physically strong guys, holds his hands up, and he was a strong man over a young boy. So he boxed and fought a very technical fight. But beyond that, he's for the most part been an aggressive type fighter.
And that too, of course, is an element in his two-way romance with boxing fans.
No question.
A first round that Vargas wanted.
Turn this guy, feigning. Watch, all he want to do is throw that right hand and that left hook, all right? And on the inside, watch those uppercuts he's throwing, all right? So when you grab him, turn him, push off, and keep walking left, all right? When you get
jab up, snap the jab. You're pushing it out there, all right? Don't push it, snap it. And don't sit in front of this man, all right? Remember what we're working on? You gotta let your hands go. Throw combinations. Stay low and keep pumping that jab. Double it up, because he's trying to hit you with his right hand. He's gonna try to counter that jab, so you gotta get that hand back.
okay, give me that speed back there, Brian.
Joval's trainer is Tracy Harris Patterson, the adopted son of former heavyweight champion Floyd Patterson, who himself won a world title at 130 pounds and had two great fights with Arturo Gatti.
And at 122. And incidentally, one of the judges here tonight, Jesse Benavides, once fought Patterson.
Well, Jesse Benavides was managed by no less a personalist than Emmanuel Stewart. There's an excellent left hook in there by Fernando Vargas as he landed his first really good combination of the fight, a straight right hand followed by a left hook. Emmanuel, did you know that your former fighter Jesse Benavides was becoming a judge?
Yeah, I talked to him today as I was on the way here. I was very proud of the fact that not only is he judging, he's judging this fight. This is his first major fight, I think, he's judging. And I'm surprised that Joval, I know that he's a tough fighter, but he's fighting a much better fight than I expected by making Vargas fight at a much faster tempo. Even though he hasn't landed any effective punch, he's really making Vargas work a lot more.
Vargas with a hard right hand to the body. Joval with a left hook to the body and a right hand in there too as he fires upstairs. Vargas tries to back him off with an uppercut. Joval keeps coming at him and continues, as you pointed out in round one, Emmanuel, to put foot pressure on Fernando Vargas.
And Vargas, unless he knocks this boy out or gets some respect, he's going to have a rough night. He's going to have to do something to hurt him and have to do it pretty soon because the guy's coming in with no respect for him now, and his confidence is growing.
Does that mean that Vargas can't play it as close to the best as he's been playing it
here?
That's
right. But he really isn't boxing the way he should anyway. He's just backing back a lot. But I think he's going to resort to his old style pretty soon. But he would have to do something to get some respect.
Vargas uppercut and over the top with the right hand, landed accurately, not a lot of pop. Joval hasn't hit Vargas with anything big in these first two rounds, but he's staying at him, staying on him. Threw 69 punches in the first round, only 31 for Vargas by CompuBox count. So Joval, by far the more active fighter. He's creating the fight, and Vargas is having to respond to what he does.
And I like what Vargas is doing now. He's making Joval back up, which is what he should do.
Excellent jab by Vargas. Vargas is defending well, blocking shots, and I think he just got Joval's respect with that left hook.
Yeah, Joval is not the type of fighter that fights backing up anyway.
Well, after 15 months away with a bad back, Fernando Vargas just announced his return with a vicious left hook that wobbled Raymond Joval.
And I think that Joval is going to be vulnerable for that punch a lot more, but he's going to have to make him back up some.
I like the way Vargas is holding his chin into his chest and his right hand up by his jaw.
He is defending, no question about it. Monday night, it's the premiere of HBO Sports' latest documentary, Perfect Upset, the 1985 Villanova-Georgetown NCAA championship game. Tune in for a chance to relive Villanova's shocking defeat of Patrick Ewing's Georgetown Hoyas.
That's the way to take down. Everyone says stay low and stop pulling back. Step around him, but don't pull back. Give this man angles, man. You got to give him angles, okay, Rick? You got to go.
Here you see Vargas landing a beautiful short left hook. In fact, very similar to the left hook that he was hit with in the first round when he fought Felix Trinidad.
Or to the left hook with which he ultimately decked Trinidad in the 4th round of that fight.
It's the kind of left hook where you have your right hand on the side of your head and the left hook goes on the inside of the glove and still catches you.
Jab by Vargas coming out of that exchange in the 2nd round by CompuBox numbers. Vargas 17 out of 31 power shots, 55%. Fernando becoming very efficient with his work in round 2. Now he tries to lean away, duck and slip as Joval tries to hammer him against the ropes. Vargas is looking to do more damage with 1 or 2 punches than Joval is able to do with the 6 or 8 that he might throw in return.
Yeah, and you can see Javal's punches coming. You know, he's not that really pinpoint with his punches. You can kind of see him just a little slight chop when he throws his right hand, and that's how Vargas is getting away with it while he's fresh. He's been able to avoid it, but as he gets tired, he may have problems judging the distance of the punch that's coming.
Joval has been known in some occasions to throw as many as 100 punches around. And 100 punches around is very good if you're sharp, if you're quick, if the punches are coming in combination and the opponent is continuously confused by them. But 100 lazy punches can get you knocked out.
Yes, he can. But he has to have a good work ethic because he's not a real accurate puncher.
Joval hit Vargas with a big right hand coming off of a left that Vargas dug to his body. Vargas may already have tasted the maximum Joval power at this point in the fight, and if so, Joval is going to have trouble hurting him. But he certainly can distract him.
The most effective punch seemingly from both of them has been a left jab tonight. They've both been able to land effective with jabs, but outside of the left hooks landed by Vargas, very few big power punches have been landed.
Vargas on a straight right hand lead. He does it again, just a little bit short. Excellent uppercut. Left hook landed 2. Joval comes back with 2 straight hard right hands of his own and bangs Vargas to the body. Vargas digging a hard right uppercut to the body. Now goes back to the left side of Joval's rib cage, and Joval comes over the top of the right hand. They're trading punches in there. Round 3 has been fought at a pretty intense pace.
Yeah, in fact, I don't recall the referee actually having any clinches to break up so far in this fight.
Vargas focusing on hiding his chin.
Yeah, well, he can see the punches coming at this stage, but you know the guy keep throwing punches all night. He plays the numbers game. Sooner or later, something may get through.
Vargas still landing the harder blows.
Wipe his nose. Get a towel, wipe his nose. Look, I need you to get back to boxing. You know what I'm saying? Get back on that jab. The defense is good. Keep your hands up. Let's get your hands up and turn it now, all right? Let's get back to what we was doing a little earlier. Using that jab, hook right hand leads, banging on both sides and getting out of there. Touch your temples, all right? When you're throwing that left hand, I want that right hand on your temple, all right? I do not want you pulling out with your hands low.
Now here you see Vargas landing very effective with his left jab right between the gloves.
And notice where his chin is, Emmanuel.
His chin is tucked in. Vargas is fighting, trying to look like he's fighting like Mayweather.
and he also appears to be at a better angle toward his opponent.
Yeah, he usually fights square. He's square with his face, you know, bent down, but he's putting a little bit more angle into his style of this fight.
Power shots in round 3. CompuBox counted Vargas landing 12 out of 24. Joval 13 out of 60. So Joval is throwing many more punches. Vargas trying to be more economical, more selective, and smarter through all 3 minutes of every round. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim. 2 rounds to 1, 29-28, Fernando Vargas. Jim, rounds 1 and 2, I thought there's no question Fernando did more damage. I mean, he sent him reeling in the second round. But in round 3, Raymond Joval absolutely outworked him. I mean, no question. He just stayed on top of Fernando, landed more shots, landed more power shots. You had to give round 3 to Joval. 2-1, Vargas.
Vargas has landed the more effective punches so far here in the 4th. Now Joval pins him against the ropes and tries to get in some volume punching.
Joval is not a good puncher.
But everything that Joval does is volume.
But if he can stay in here and put pressure on Vargas, he might test Vargas's stamina after having been away from the ring for such a long time.
Well, he definitely is putting pressure on him, that's for sure.
But here in the 4th round, Vargas seems to have found a good counterpunching groove, and he is not getting caught by any of Joval's shots, while occasionally, selectively, landing the ones he wants.
Joval seems to be open for shots up through the middle. If Vargas would shoot probably right uppercuts and left uppercuts, he'd probably be more effective than trying to shoot punches over the top.
How about the jab or the straight right-hand lead?
Well, the jab has been working effective all night. It's one thing I noticed, he's moving like a boxer, but outside of that and occasional jab, he's not actually boxing. The most important punch in boxing is the left jab, and it really amazes me how guys have abandoned it, and they make everything so much more difficult.
Now that punch moved Joval even though it didn't land square. You can say this, he didn't pick a walkover for his return bout, Vargas.
No, I mean,
but he did pick a guy who may not be on his level or the level he was once on. And he may have picked a guy who's beatable, but certainly not a guy who's going to fall down the next time he gets hit squarely.
No, he's definitely got a good test. But Joval, from what I saw in previous fight, has never fought with this intensity and speed himself. He's normally much slower than this.
Well, Jamal's never been on HBO, never been on Boxing After Dark. It's an opportunity for him. He probably thinks, hey, Vargas will have so much ring rust, I'm going to score a big upset here and make a name for myself at age 36.
Another good round for Vargas.
Outstanding.
I need you to box.
And here's a look at Brandy Moses, who owns a body bar shop right here in Corpus Christi. She is one of those small business owners that Texas politicians are working so hard to protect, and does this part-time, letting us know what round is upcoming.
All right, we didn't practice on that shit at the gym. We practice on touching them and getting up out of there. We throw the right hand, we weave to the right side, turn back left. All right, everything you do is in and out. I want you coming.
You don't have to be right on top of him to hit him with your right hand, all right? Just smother him a little bit. Boom, boom, back off of him a little bit behind that jab, right?
You're doing great, you're doing great. Deep breath.
You got it, all right?
CompuBox numbers in round 4. Vargas landed 22 out of 40. Joval threw 110 punches by CompuBox count, landed 16. So Vargas lands more while throwing less than half as many punches in the 4th round, and that's what I meant when I said that he was into a very good counter-punching groove, selecting the opportunities he liked. And you look at that slow arcing right hand come over the top, and you get a clear picture of what Emmanuel Stewart's talking about when he says that Vargas can see Joval's punches coming.
If Joval would shoot his straight right hand and quit trying to throw it and chop it, just squeeze it tight and twist it straight through, Vargas would have a real tough problem. And even if I was in Vargas's country corner and I see he's winning, I would still be a little bit worried because of the pace and the tempo that Joval is setting.
Vargas, for his part, seems very satisfied in there with his technical capabilities so far and his ability to find Joval with the counter punches he likes. Fernando looking relaxed and comfortable as they work their way through the 5th. Fight scheduled for 10 rounds. Funny enough, a much tougher opponent than Fitz Vanderpool, the fighter against whom we last saw Vargas on HBO in the Olympic Auditorium a long time ago, 2.5 years.
Well, for a guy that's supposed to be just an opponent, Joval is fighting with a lot more confidence, a lot more determination and enthusiasm than I've saw in a long time than a supposed to opponent guy. These are the type of rounds, as Harold was saying earlier, that even though Joval may not land nothing out effectively, he could possibly win.
Hard left hook by Vargas. Joval keeps coming.
Yeah.
Good body shot by Vargas, and now he stuns Joval with a left hook upstairs, landing accurately again. Joval holding on to Fernando's left hand, so he hits him with the right. Defensive cutie Fernando Vargas standing in front of Joval and making him miss.
But you know what? Even though Vargas is a much better, more accurate puncher, Joval never lost his rhythm or his momentum. He's continually to step, making Vargas fight continually, though.
And he hits Vargas with a couple of chopping right hands. But Vargas easily sustains those punches. Joval just doesn't have a lot of power. Good hard right hand body shot by Vargas.
But for the first time in the fight, I see Vargas look like he's starting to give a little bit.
Could be tired.
Could be tired, and that's a round that could very easily go to Joval.
Not on my card.
Well, Vargas had a good spot right there, but after that, you know, he didn't do that much.
Head down, head down.
Right down.
Don't give him water yet.
Honky. Don't want to fight, Ray.
Ray, that's it, man. If you're getting in there, you're punching, you got to stay low, Ray. Don't pull back up, all right? Don't pull back up. Just let your hands go and keep stepping to the side. Rip them shots. If you're ripping that uppercut, come back with that left hook. Either down step.
Huh? You straight? Here we go. Look, we don't need to be trading in the clinches like that with your hands down at all. Get what you're going to get and get out low. Do not be standing there trading. You'll catch him from the outside. Touch, touch, touch. Find the right hand. Weave over to the right side.
Hey, second job,
Let's go to work.
that water for me down there.
I need a towel.
Some of that water. Give me a
I need a towel. Towel.
Give me a towel, guys.
Joval, by CompuBox count, threw 110 punches in the 4th round. Probably didn't win the round. So he came back out and threw 120 punches in the 5th round. Vargas threw only 43. Again, landed more than half. Fernando Vargas given credit by CompuBox, 22 out of 43. Now we go to round 6 of the scheduled 10. Vargas doubling with the left hand there, hook upstairs, hook to the rib cage.
You have to keep in mind, Joval came into the ring tonight weighing 175, I believe, the light heavyweight limit. The biggest man that Vargas has ever fought, and Vargas was never a lights-out puncher, even in the junior middleweight division.
All of which tells us we're probably headed toward a 10-round fight and a decision.
Sure looks like that.
Crowd is anxious for Vargas to trade with Joval in that situation, but he was just protecting his chin.
He can't get his rhythm. As soon as he backs out for a minute, Joval comes right back at him and continually putting pressure on him. And it's becoming, even though he's not landing any clean punches, he's still very effective.
And Lawrence Cole is going to rule that Vargas was standing on Joval's foot, and And as a result, it is not ruled a knockdown. Vargas digs a left hook into Joval's body. Joval's back foot slips one more time. He points to the canvas. And Vargas comes back to try to land one more big shot.
I'm anxious to see the replay on that. I thought it was a knockdown. Could have been wrong.
Well, it didn't look like a big shot, and it was a body punch, so it would have been a little surprising.
Yeah, but Jim, if he didn't get hit with that body punch, would he have gone down?
I don't know. I think not.
There's some slippage with the shoes of Joval. It's some kind of way.
Vargas takes advantage to hit Joval with a straight right hand. It is designed to shorten the fight, but the bell rings and ends the round.
Well, I don't know what the problem is with Joval's shoes, but that's his problem. It's not Vargas's problem.
Take a deep breath and relax. Come on. Get your heart rate down.
April 10, it's Real Sports 10th anniversary special highlighting the best moments of some of sports television's most acclaimed journalistic stories. Take a look back at some of the biggest personalities, investigations, the stories that Real Sports has covered over the course of its 10-year run as one of the most acclaimed series on TV.
You're coming in low and you're coming out low. All right. Stay really smart in here. Keep turning this guy. There's no sense of banging.
Punch to the body. Down goes Joval.
Bad call. Should have been a knockdown. Definitely should have been a knockdown. There was no foot involvement there at all.
Go, Tracy. Out you go.
You agree?
He was off balance. The punch landed on his shoulder, seemed like to me, and his balance. But that, officially, if you get hit with anything above the waist, and as a result, you go down. Even on the shoulder, it's a knockdown.
Emmanuel, if he was off balance, whose fault is that?
I didn't say it was fault, but I said officially it's a knockdown if you get hit with any blow above the waist and you go down as a result of that. So officially it is a knockdown.
Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim. 58-56. 4 rounds to 2, Fernando Vargas. I disagree on that knockdown, Jim. When that painted canvas gets wet, it's very, very slippery. 4 times Raymond Joval's feet came apart. 4 times he virtually slipped down. I mean, it just wasn't a knockdown. His feet came apart, and he slipped, and that's all it was to it. Cole had the right call.
We'll have to agree to disagree on that one, Harold, but I have it 5 rounds to 1 for Vargas.
If Joval know how to throw a fast, straight right-hand lead off the bat as he's moving in, Fernando would be in big trouble.
If Joval could do that, Emmanuel, he wouldn't be Joval.
No, he wouldn't be fighting tonight. They wouldn't allow him to fight it. All he's doing, he's working, throwing a lot of punches, but they're not effective punches.
I'm not sure he could hurt Fernando even if he could throw that punch.
If he shot his straight right hand off the bat and squeezed it tight at the end, he would get some respect, I'll tell you that much.
I'll take your word for it. You've seen a fight or two. There are probably many in this crowd who expected, given the business of the fight, probably many who expected to see Fernando dominating a far lesser fighter here. They're probably a little surprised.
I'm surprised. I thought Fernando would have knocked him out earlier, but I'm not so much disappointed in Fernando. I think it's just Joval that came in so focused and prepared and determined.
I don't think they wanted to push over. I think they wanted to see if Fernando can fight.
I'm not sure, I don't recall the record exactly that Joval has ever been knocked out. He has 3 losses, and he's a bigger guy.
Trading punches at close range, and both guys giving as good as they're getting.
Our producer informs me that he has never been knocked out. So while he's not a hard puncher, he does take a punch well.
10-round loss to Erlan Batari in France. 12-round loss to Antonio Perugino in Italy. And a 12-round loss to Sam Solomon in Temecula.
And also the fact that Larry brought it over, he's much, much bigger physically, and that makes him able to absorb a punch a lot better.
Hey, you all right, baby. Don't worry about none of is get on your jab and keep throwing them counters like you're doing. Keep your hands up tight. That's when you're going to catch him with everything. Don't you see what he's doing? When you got your hands up and you're in the clinches like that, you're going to counter punch on one. And I want you to rip that shit when you do. All right?
Hands busy, keep moving that head. Moving that head.
Come on,
Don't stand up and stop that bolo shot. I don't want that. I want it right from here. You hear me? And pop that jab.
Big one, Ray. Big one. Big one.
You're in shape, baby. There you go. Step around. Tip top. You're in tip top shape, Ray. And use that jab. Come on. Get that out. Get it out. Get up. Get up.
Remember, the fight is scheduled for 10 rounds, not 12. So we go to the 8th round now. It's not an empty seat in the house, and there have been a few fights around the house as we've seen the crowd turning this way and that from time to time. Vargas with a left hook to the head of Joval, and another, picking his spots for the left hook.
That's the right hand that I was telling you. If he could do that effectively, Vargas would have a rough night.
Well, what everybody remembers is not only was Vargas knocked down 5 times by Trinidad and once by De La Hoya, but a welterweight Wilfredo Rivera also once knocked him down.
There's a cut above the left eye of Raymond Joval. There is a cut right above the left eyelid of Joval, and that's going to affect his vision. You'll see it when he turns around. Blood is starting to drip from the cut.
Seemingly it's given Vargas a lot more confidence and maybe taken and detracted from the confidence of Joval.
Yeah, Vargas is starting to step forward and dig to the body, and Joval is looking for room to get away.
Yeah.
The fight has changed because of the cut above the left eye of Joval. And the placement of that cut tells me it's probably from a Vargas right hand. So that in itself is probably enough to build his confidence.
It's really bothering Joval. It's taking him totally out of his game plan.
Perfect shot by Vargas with the right.
And Vargas going for the kill, but going very deliberately and patiently.
Absolutely, he's still being smart. Vargas digs the left hook to the body, slips the right hand. Workmanlike operation for Vargas as he waits to see what will happen to Joval next. Gradually trying to deconstruct the taller, bigger Dutch fighter. Good body shot by Joval. Joval gets back to throwing now, apparently having gotten accustomed to the blood coming out of his eye, but now Vargas rips him with another right hand and a big left hook upstairs. Oh, perfect right hand shot on the cut, and Joval backs up into the ropes. He was staggered by that punch.
Vargas is placing his punches still. He's not throwing any punches recklessly. Every punch be effective.
The Dutchman has to put his finger in the dike to keep going.
Well, if Vargas comes out and picks up where he left off, he should stop him in the next round.
Listen, son, the cut is under control, all right? It's under control.
Deep breath. Ray, you gotta stop pulling back. Ryan.
Miguel Diaz in Joval's corner is a very good cut man.
You gotta let your hands go and step to the side. All right? You gotta work now, baby. You gotta work.
Here Vargas landed a beautiful short left hook right up on the temple area. And now he's coming with a straight right hand right between the gloves. The one thing you can say, Joval must have a good chin because Vargas landed some pretty good punches, and he's a pretty decent puncher himself.
CompuBox numbers in 8. Vargas 43 out of 67, 64%, including 32 out of 48 power shots. Joval's punch count dropped to 73, the lowest since the first round.
Stop, no punches.
Vargas needs to go right back to those right hands. They're working, so why stop? Keep shooting.
Particularly since if there's one thing we've seen for near certainty, Joval can't hurt Vargas with his left hand. His punch is the right hand. Vargas over and under. Joval's landing his right hand. He got in 2 big shots. But Vargas is still methodically targeting the spot above Joval's left eye.
Vargas still is a little cautious. He doesn't want to take too many risks still, and also maybe he's a little concerned about pacing himself.
Yeah, who can blame him? You don't have to learn everything all at once, do you?
He's been in some brutal fights.
Do you see any sign of ring rust after such a layoff, Emmanuel?
I do. I think it was wise for him to fight this caliber guys instead of saying, no, I want to get hold of Trinidad. I want to get right back and get with Oscar. I see a lot of us, and a lot of things that are more accurate and harder puncher would take advantage of.
Vargas gets hit in the cup, below the belt. Referee Lawrence Cole apparently didn't see it. Vargas in big trouble. Now fights his way back with a left-hand body shot, but Vargas for a moment was badly hurt by a low blow and wanted a break, while Cole never saw the low blow.
It's a big low blow, too. And once again, you see the slippage of their shoes over there.
And now you see Vargas's fighting instinct. He's recovered enough from the low blow to reassert himself, and he's going at Joval with combinations.
Trying to knock the halo off his head.
I may be wrong, but this is my gamble. If Vargas would just go all out, I think he could knock out. It's a gamble that he could get tired and get hurt.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He's worried his trainer would be upset at him for it. But the fighter is starting to come back to the surface of Vargas's character.
A short overhand right, I think, would end this fight. If he could just let it go off the bat, then he's trying to fight a little too intelligent.
Well, his promoters at Main Events would say to you, that's the kind of problem we like to have.
Yeah, but I think at this point here right now, a short right, Joval is wide open for a short right hand. I mean, with all this power, if he turned one through, it would be over with.
Now there's blood over both of Joval's eyes. Both the left and the right eye are cut. And an unmarked Fernando Vargas continues to weather the storm of a big punch output from Raymond Joval. In the 4th round of his fight with Felix Trinidad, Fernando Vargas had great momentum, knocked Trinidad down, appeared to have turned the fight around. When that happened, Trinidad threw a punch exactly like that, the punch that Joval just threw.
Well, that was, I think, definitely not on purpose. That was where he was going underneath a punch, and his head was just pushed down. But I think Trinidad was a little bit maybe more on the purpose.
Oh, no, that was a calculation.
It was calculated.
That was a calculation that night. This one may have been an accident, but it hit Vargas in the same place.
It did. Like when you hit underneath the cup, that's when it really hurts. It lifts the cup up.
Pop that jab, stay low, and get going. Get going, right? 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
I get hit with too much of shit. Keep your hands up. Boxing, turning. You take advantage of this. Hook right hand lead.
CompuBox numbers through the 9th round show Fernando Vargas selective, landing more than half his punches. 224 out of 426. Raymond Joval has thrown more than twice as many punches as Vargas. If there's a judge here who favors activity and activity alone, that person could have Joval winning the fight. But if you're Harold Letterman, I'm sure you have Fernando Vargas in the lead. Don't you, Harold?
Absolutely, Jim. 87-84, 6 rounds to 3, ferocious Fernando Vargas. You know, Jim, in the final analysis, at the end of a round, you got to say to yourself, who hurt the other guy more than the other guy hurt him? Joval is the busier guy. Fernando is the harder puncher. He's doing more damage. 6-3, Vargas.
If there's a judge that has Joval ahead in this fight, he better get on his horse and get out of town fast.
I agree.
The fight is over.
I agree. Just don't think it's completely outside the realm of possibility, but in all likelihood, Vargas will get the benefit of the doubt for his more accurate punching.
Listen, Joval is ineffective aggression when you look at actually the clean punches landed. And it's interesting, even when he throws his punches, like he's very comfortable punching at the upper part of the cup of Vargas, or either Vargas' left shoulder.
But he has no power at all.
No, he's no power at all. He doesn't even punch that much at the head. And even if he did, I don't think he would do as much damage because he doesn't punch that hard.
Vargas tried for that right-hand shot, but he was too far away.
Vargas he just sat down to get his feet planted properly and then turn a short power for a right hand, not try to do it while he's moving.
After this is over, Vargas' trainer, Danny Smith, is going to say, I'm glad he got 10 rounds of great work. He needed that. Whether it's true or not.
You know, the trick for the future for Vargas is to blend this kind of boxing with the sure instinct and intuition to go for it when it's there, to let loose.
The fire that defined him at his peak.
Well, it's been a much more competitive and exciting fight than I expected. I thought it would have been a knockout within 3 or 4 rounds.
Instead, it's going to go the distance, and we'll find out what the 3 judges from here in Texas have thought of the efforts of both Vargas and Raymond Joval. Crowd rises to applaud Fernando Vargas for coming back to boxing and for coming to Corpus Christi and for giving the audience what it wanted.
Fernando Vargas told us yesterday that after performing in that movie with Bruce Willis and Sharon Stone, called Alpha Dog.
Alpha Dog, yep.
He has had several more offers to do movies. I think Hollywood will have to wait a while.
So he's getting more offers to be a movie star than Oscar De La Hoya. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I thought it was a solid performance. Showed that he could make some modifications in how he fights, and surprisingly showed real good stamina, although I thought in the last couple of rounds he played it very cautiously.
Emmanuel, your thoughts? Well, before we go to that, let's take a look at who are the 3 judges who are going to be scoring the fight. We mentioned that Jesse Benavidez, himself a former featherweight title holder, was managed by Emanuel Stewart. It's his first notable fight as a judge. Go get him, Jesse. We're sure you're going to be really good. Ray Hawkins, 59 years old, from Texas, had Julio Diaz, the winner over, Juan Diaz, the winner over Lak Basim when we covered that fight in Houston last year. Juan Diaz, perpetual motion, whirling dervish of a lightweight fighting machine. Jesse Reyes, 43, from here in Texas, had Kermit Cintron leading against Teddy Reed in Houston on that same card last year, and Cintron ultimately won a nervous knockout there. And as the judges compile their scores and we get ready to hear the final decision, you heard Larry's capsule comment on what he thought of Vargas. Give us yours.
Well, I thought it was a good fight for him coming back. It's someone that pushed him, but it also showed the things that he has to work on also. I think he's going to have to use his left jab more if he's going to be a boxer and not just try to just block punches and back away. But it was a good fight for him coming back. You know, he's a guy, a young kid, and been in with all those guys so powerful, Ike Quartey, Trinidad, De La Hoya, a lot of hard fights for a young kid. And I mean, and he took a lot of physical punishment in those fights too.
Do you think that he was being rushed because his management and his promoter feared that his outside the life ring might swallow up his inside the life ring before he reached his ultimate destiny as a fighter?
I think it could have been a combination of that, plus the fact that he himself was such an aggressive type guy and his demand to fight the best. He's not an easy guy to control.
Michael Buffer has the decision. Let's hear it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Jesse Benavidez scores at 98-92. Ray Hawkins, 96-94. And Jesse Reyes scores it 97-93. All to the winner by unanimous decision, the Aztec warrior, El Feroz Ferocious, Fernando
So Vargas gets the decision, as was expected, raises the record to 25-2, comes back victorious from a 15-month layoff with a bad back, fights through 10 full rounds, shows no physical ill effects, demonstrates that he can adapt some new intelligence and new elusiveness into his previous all-out blood and guts fighting style, and fights so precisely that Final CompuBox numbers find him landing both half of his total punches. Look at that, Joval threw 990 punches in 10 rounds. That's an average. You can do it 99 per round. And if you look at jabs, you'll see Vargas double Joval landing jabs while throwing fewer. Again, landing at a 48% clip and basically blunting Joval's jab, even though Joval was throwing it over and over and over. So numerically, it was a very good, precise, largely defensive performance by Fernando Vargas. Go figure. Here's Larry Merchant with the winner.
Thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations, Fernando. Give us your thoughts on how it felt being back in the ring and trying to implement some changes in how you fight.
Primeramente, quiero darle gracias a Diosito por esta victoria y también mañana viene siendo el aniversario de su resurrección. Gracias, Diosito, por todo lo que has hecho por mí y mi familia. Te agradezco a todos los que has bendecido. Amén. I felt like I've been away for a while, but I wanted to come back and try new things. And as you can see, I was doing them. You know, they might not have been as sharp as I wanted them to be, but I'm my own worst critic. And, you know, this is my first time with Danny Smith. Eduardo Garcia will always be with me. So, you know, I'm just glad that I was able to go 10 rounds and box and do some of the things that he's been teaching me.
Can you learn to blend your old fire with your new ice?
Well, I think, you saw today I didn't get too overly excited when I heard him. You know, I used my jab. I never thought I had a jab, you know, until Danny Smith said, you know, you got a great jab. And, you know, I started using it, using the angle, using the rolls, using the drop, coming back to the body, coming back on top. So, I mean, you gotta understand, I've been away, but I've been trying to learn at the same time and trying to get better.
In your scheme of things, who would you prefer to fight next? What path do you think you should take in the next fight or two?
Well, I thought that I wasn't going to be able to make 54 anymore. But I got to say one thing to Javier Castillejo, which, you know, he's in Spain. Javier, estoy listo para...
All right, he's talking about Javier Castillejo, who has just been anointed the WBC title holder at 154, because they stripped Winky Wright for whatever reasons. And that's your preferred next opponent?
Well, like I said, I want to get that WBC. And once I feel I got that BC, I think I'll be in the right position where I can challenge for a rematch against Trinidad, against Oscar.
Do you feel that having come into the ring, you weighed 162, you were 170, that you can get back to that 154-pound division and still be strong?
With Robert Ferguson, I mean, I thought that I couldn't. Robert Ferguson, my strength and wellness coach. You know, I cleared everybody, and now I got Robert Ferguson from the 805, and I'm excited. Give
us your number, 1 to 10, on how you feel you performed tonight.
3.5 to 4. You know, there was still a little ring rust, you know, but, you know, I feel that I was able to implement a lot of things that Danny Smith has taught me.
Okay, we've been through that territory before. We appreciate and congratulations.
I want to say one more thing to all my people of Oxnard, La Colonia. Shouts out to all my people. I appreciate all the love, and I'll be back home tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Fernando. Jim?
All right, thanks very much, Larry. Well, Emmanuel, you heard it. He says he gives himself a 3.5 or a 4. That's obviously very objective opinion of himself on the part of Fernando Vargas, and it shows you that he's not getting too carried away with this. His expectations are up here, and he knows that he's somewhere down here, right?
Well, I thought I was kind of down in him a little bit, but he was worse than I was on himself.
Yeah,
But
he's tougher.
It shows that he's maturing as a fighter, and I think as a person, all that experience and the drama he's been through, I see a much more mature person in the ring there tonight. And I think he has the right idea to just move along slowly. He's not ready to jump back right away.
Right. He's talking about Javier Castillejo, another fighter whose punching power isn't going to scare anybody.
Well, I think he would be Castillejo probably. I really do. I think it would be Castillejo. But Castillejo just fortunately inherited the championship. But I don't think Castillejo has fought the quality of fighters that he's fought. And I think he would be Castillejo if he can get back to 154 pounds.
And then he's talking about maybe Ricardo Mayorga. And you heard him very carefully sort of whisper tentatively the names Trinidad and Oscar, but Larry, he wasn't exactly asserting himself on that point.
You're right, Jim. And I've said just about everything I have to say about Fernando Vargas tonight. I'd like to go back to the tape delay of the Morales-Pacquiao fight, because once again, the chief medical officer of the Nevada Commission, Margaret Goodman, was missing in action and missed in the action. Once again, her backups over or underreacted in the heat of battle. This is happening because business and political interests in Las Vegas think she is overprotective of fighters, which can at times be costly. Once you have business and political interests calling the shots, whether it's picking judges or ring physicians, trouble lies ahead, and we'll be watching.
Great comment. We'll be watching together. Absolutely right.